Okay, so the other day I went over to where the Mark II GT6 is stored and I picked up all of the loose parts that were inside the body. So it came to me partly disassembled, so that, everything was just shoved in there, just for transport purposes. I've been going through and sorting stuff out, including my new collection of vintage Nescafe jars, just to figure out what I've got and what I might need to buy and all that sort of thing. And I've been cleaning up and restoring a couple of little parts along the way, but nothing. I've been cleaning brake adjusters and undoing rusty nuts and things like that. It's nothing particularly exciting. But I want to get on with something a bit more. So this is going to be my first bit of metalwork on the car. Now this is the sort of footwell panel that's specific to the GT6, and it goes in the passenger footwell for, I guess, give the passenger a footrest to be slightly more luxurious than the Spitfire. Anyway, that bit at the bottom is where it touches the floor. It's rotted along there. The lowest bit makes sense. So I'm going to give this a clean up and then see what we've got. But it looks like it's just going to be a simple flat repair with a little bend in it. We'll see how much of this disintegrates. So I've had a bit in the blast cabinet. Okay, so there it is on the table. I've just gone around the rusty bit. Yeah, this can all get cleaned up later. And there's a bit... I don't really want to go into these pressings if I can help it. Just don't want to have to make them. But there is a bit of pitting here, so I'll kind of scoop around the edge of them. Do that. I've got what I think is a bit of a dent here. So I'm going to flatten that down first. And then I think what I'll do is go straight across and then make the bend later using the remains to tell me where it should be. So there was a little bit of a crease in here, but I think what's happened is obviously if it's being used as a footrest, foot here, and the right foot pressing on metal, so it is not quite flat. Actually, really, I think it's just that bit there. Nothing else. Okay, so I've got it reasonably flat. I decided not to sweat the small stuff on it because it's a kick panel, you're not going to see it, and the chances of me managing to completely avoid distorting it while welding are probably quite low. So I've got a bit of metal off-cut from the Herald's floor pan, basement floor pan. So I'm now going to cut out this bit to give me space around my pressings. So this metal actually felt quite solid when I was cutting it, so I think I'm just going to leave these as they are rather than trying to go right up to the edge. Get this matched up with that. I got this fitted around there. I've used my old piece to mark where I want to bend it on the edges. I'm going to get those bends in now, weld it in, and then trim it to where it needs to be for this. Okay, so this is also kind of the first live test of my DIY metal folder. is okay. Needs a bit more. It's slightly surprising the bend was a little too sharp. I was expecting, if anything, I was going to go too weak or too what's the word? Not sharp enough. Placement seems okay now. So for something made out of scrap, I'm quite pleased with that folder. Those creases. Once I backed it off again, that's this was I did this one. That's sharp. It's in the right place. I was able to bend it in the right place. This one needs a bit of a tidy up, but I'll do that when I've tacked this, or welded this together, and the old piece matches nicely. So let's do a bit of welding. Right, so it's tacked, just I have completely run out of welding gas. I'm going to have to pause there till I have a chance to go out and get some. So in the meantime I've brought the manifold in and just giving it a douse in penetrating oil. I do need to get on with sorting some of this out because my modern car is currently partly a storage facility for bits of GT6. But anyway, this all looks pretty grotty and immovable, but we shall see how it goes. Oh dear. So I managed to snap the banjo bolt out the end of the manifold. Well, oh well. But I've got a lead on someone who refurbishes them, and that's probably going to be a better idea than trying any further to extract either bolt or either fitting, because we've got iron versus aluminium corrosion here, which is and water. So it's just going to be not worth me faffing on any longer with it. Okay, so I went out yesterday and got myself some new welding gas so I can get this finished. First thing I'm going to do is grind off all these tacks, because there's a little bit of, I've got it quite flat, so I'll be able to correct that hopefully. Again, this is hidden, but you know, these are good things to practice on. And get this flat bit welded up, these edges welded. Oh, rather, I'm probably going to give these a bit of a shape, just to make sure they blend in. That one's pretty good already. That one's, I think this overlaps a little bit. Anyway, let's get this done. Okay, so now I can feel and see, because of my grinding, that this side's a little bit higher, so we can see the weld is. We'd see the weld there. I feel my fingernail. Similarly on this side we've got a bit of a. That's very minor there. So I should just be able to take a hammer on the edge of the bench, the flat of the bench, and flatten those down. So there's good, there's still not quite. Okay, I think I'm at as good as I can manage at the moment. Pretty smooth. So get a few more tacks in, see how it goes. So that's down, that's up, well, that's down, that's down. This is that, so. Right, so I've got my weld all done, and I don't think the weld itself has sunk, but there's definitely, this has dipped down. I'm wondering if I've actually kind of encouraged by the chunk out the edge on my scrappy starting bit. So I'm just going to get these ground down and see if I can flatten this out. It may even be a case of just putting the bend in, and that'll deal with it. Let's find out. Well, you've seen me go a little bit overboard on this, given it's a kick panel, but I've managed to planch it quite well. So there's still a, well, actually no, there's going to be oil canny in the middle there. I've still not quite got that to be good. All that apparently. But I feel like I've had a bit of practice, and I'm going to put the bend in, and I might do a little bit more just to try and see if I can get it properly flat. But at the end of the day, it's going to be under insulation and carpet, and no one's ever going to see it. So, as a practice piece, I've learned a bit more. go. That's the first piece of the GT6 done, metalwork wise. Actually, I might round off these corners. They probably don't want to be sharp. Otherwise, I think I'll get this cleaned up and get it painted. Oh, and putting the fold in. Didn't 100% get the crease out, but it went quite a long way. So I'll just see if I can hammer that down. Actually, it still won't quite go. This bit is a tiny bit oil canny. Yeah, proper thing to do would be to try and shrink here. But as I keep saying, it is a kick panel, and I don't have anything to do that with. So okay, so I'm not going to get it painted right now because the rust is a little bit ingrained, a little bit of pitting. So I want to give it a soak in the rust remover, proper remover I use, and for that I want to gather up some more stuff before making up a batch. But it's clean, it's repaired, and that really is the first bit. First bit of the GT6 is ready to go back on the car eventually. First bit of metalwork because we've already done a couple of bits of mechanical stuff. Anyway, so I'm going to get this cleaned up in due course and figure out what to do next. I do have the front balance, and I'm kind of tempted to get on with repairing that, but also maybe it's sensible to have that on the car to be able to fit to the car. Even though I've got the Spitfire one here to reference to make sure I'm not distorting it, still don't know, have to think about that one. For now, thanks for watching, thanks for commenting, thanks for subscribing, and see you next time.